Raid 2 is a 2014 Indonesian action film. It was directed by Gareth Evans, the same guy who directed The Raid Redemption. Now, the plot of this movie is that it picks up right where the last movie ended, where we see that character, Rama. He has gone through some of the worst hardcore fighting that anyone could have gone through. But yet, the cops ask him, they go to him to go undercover. And at first he's like, no, I want to see my family, I want to live my life, I want to just go on. But when he finds out that these guys have killed his brother, he says, okay, I'll do it. So he goes undercover in prison to get intel, and you've probably heard this before, but when you go undercover and you get in too deep, this guy gets really in too deep. Now, what I think of The Raid 2 is this movie is incredible. Just incredible. I mean, look, the first Raid movie sort of blew me out of the way. I remember hearing so much about it, how much I had to see it, how crazy it was. But you can never be fully prepared for what you're in store for when you watch The Raid. And then when you watch it and you see all the action, you see all the martial arts, you just kind of go, holy shit, how is this possible? So now going into the sequel, the expectations are high because you're like, alright guys, good luck beating that first movie. And this film, 2.5 hours long. But that's not a complaint. It's 2.5 hours long because it has an actual story to it. It has a lot going on. Like I said, you have the Rama character who, him being undercover is so messed up to have to see his character go through that because there's so much corruption. There's so many people that you can't trust. There's just so much backstabbing going on in this film that when you see him in prison and he's initially thinking, he was told, that he's only going to be there for a couple of months to get intel on this political guy's son, and then that was it. But no, he ends up staying there for a few years. And there's this one action scene when he's in the prison, though, that once this happened at the beginning, I said, okay, this is what I'm in store for. You see a bunch of the prisoners, they're outside, it's like just mud all outside, and they just start fighting each other. They have a riot, and the prison guards try to come in and separate them, but no, even more prisoners come and attack the guards. And it's just 10 minutes of them beating the shit out of each other in mud. I'm sitting there like, wow, I've never seen anything quite like this. And some of the other characters, I don't know if anyone remembers the character Mad Dog from the first Raid Redemption film. He was the smaller guy who could just kick anyone's ass that he had to. At the end of the film, he fought the two brothers by himself. He could hold his own. Well, the same actor is in this movie. And when I saw him, I said, okay, is that the same character? Like, did he somehow get resurrected from the first film? And it was really just confusing the hell out of me. And his fighting scenes, of course, what do you expect? They're great. The choreography, the way how he's able to just make it look like he's breaking everyone's bones and stabbing people with glass and knives. It's amazing to think that this is all fake, that they're not really hurting each other, because I swear there's a few times where people really did get hit in the face or fucked up. I wouldn't be surprised if I heard a lot of injuries happening while making this movie. But like I said, his character, I was confused until I looked it up and saw that no, it's the same actor, he's just playing a different character. And I guess the director loves this actor so much and what he's capable of, what he's able to bring to these fighting scenes, that he's like, I had to get him in this movie again. And I don't blame him. As far as some other assassins, we have the baseball guy who, he'll come in, he throws a baseball at you, and he demands for you to give it back to him. And if you don't give it back to him, he'll kill you with his baseball bat. I'm pretty sure if you gave him the baseball, he would kill you anyways. But still, hey, I guess you gotta have fun when you're an assassin. And he has a partner named the Hammer Girl. That's her name. And the first scene when you see her on this train and all these henchmen go after her, and she has 2 hammers and she's slicing them in the stomach, the back, the sides, just completely taking all these guys out. Blood and gore everywhere. That's another thing that I'm impressed about this movie. It's just the blood, the violence, the gore. I'm not saying that you have to have that to have a kick-ass action film, but it's refreshing to get a nice rated R, bloody action film because we don't get a whole lot of them anymore. Now, some more fighting. There's this fight at the end where Rama goes up against this guy and they're in the kitchen. And that's got to be possibly the best fight scene I've seen. Them with the 2 knives that they had and they're just constantly slicing and cutting each other, blood everywhere, and I was at the edge of my seat. I can't tell you how many times I said, holy shit! Like, it's hard to describe these action scenes because for the most part while I was watching it, I was sitting there going. And even if that's not enough, there's a car chase in this movie that, my God, I thought I've seen some of the best car chases, but when you have Rama being taken by this group, put into this car, and you have somebody chasing them trying to save Rama, but while that's going on, while people are attacking the other car and shooting at them, and that's happening, Rama's fighting the 4 guys by himself in the car. And I've never seen a fight like this inside of a car. 2.5 hours long, I was never bored. And that's surprising because when I initially put this in and I saw the timestamp, I saw 2.5 hours and I said, God damn, I don't know if I really want to sit through this. But then all of a sudden, I had like 10 minutes left in the movie and I literally blinked and said, holy shit, that went by? The only complaint, I guess, and I don't think this is really the movie's fault, because this might just be off of the DVD version that I rented, it had an English dubbed over it, so it's hard to gauge the acting or some of the dialogue because it's an English person, an American person, talking over the actors and characters, and in some ways it takes you out of it because you can tell the person's voice isn't matching what you're seeing, or maybe there are different DVD copies with the actual like subtitles like the first film. That's what I was expecting, so that threw me off a little bit. But other than that, The Raid 2, I highly recommend this film. I would assume that a lot of people have seen it, but from what I read online, this movie didn't do all that well in the theater. It didn't really make hardly any money, so I don't know, but just in case, definitely check this movie out. If it was in theaters, I would give it a full price. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below if you did see The Raid 2. What did you think of it? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!